Welcome to the Exoverse podcast, or otherwise known as Exo-Cast number 3. And today, with me is my friend Tim.
Hey guys.
That's his voice, and that's his name.
Yep.
Yep. So, like usual, we're just going to talk about anything really. Tim suggested we talk about movies. And the movie that I've seen recently, I won't spoil anything for it, that I thought was amazing was Infinity War. It's like, it was mind-blowing to see, and this is obviously it's spoiler-free, but even if you've seen the trailers, you know there's going to be multiple characters in there, and they meet each other, and they meet each other for the first time, and that's one of the coolest things about this movie is it's such a huge crossover movie with like all the different people.
Yeah, I know before the podcast you said that you always have to question who's going to die, so I mean, I don't know any of that because I'm going to go see the movie probably a couple days, but it should be pretty awesome.
I could ruin everything for you right now, but I won't.
No,
but I won't. No, don't.
Yeah, I'd be mad.
We aren't recording, right? No, we're not. Okay, I'm gonna beat you up. But yeah, and see, what's really funny is I've noticed when the Avengers movie comes out, when Marvel movies come out, on specifically Disney XD, when they show like these animated shows, they kind of put their own version of what's going on. Like if there's a Marvel Civil War movie coming out, then in the animated shows, the Ultimate Spider-Man or Avengers or whatever, they'll do that same plot, except it will be totally different, and it'll have different characters, and it'll have a different storyline. So people are like, oh, is this going to be in the movie? And then they'll see the movie, it's totally different.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they bring in real life political stuff into the movies. I guess in some cases it gets kind of annoying, but it's got to be inspired from somewhere. The story. I mean,
yeah, like the comics. And see, like an example, Ultron, when the way they portrayed Ultron in the show was that his father had created him as like kind of like a Pinocchio kind of thing, where like he was going to be like a friendly person who helps people out. Or like Baymax, like from Big Hero 6, like they're building it to help people and be a visionary. And so, like, you saw flashbacks of Iron Man flying around with Ultron when he first got his suit and, like, talking about things. And then suddenly Ultron turned, I don't know why, and became the super, like, exactly to detail movie version of himself.
Well, he was, like, sentient at one point, right?
Well, first he was like a robot, kind of like another Jarvis in the show. And then it became the Ultron that you see in the movie, but in the show. But in the movie, they were just beginning to work on him. Bruce and Stark worked together to make Ultron, who turned on them. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. They picked a really good guy to do the voice, too.
Oh, that was your watch.
Yeah.
Do you know who voice acted him?
I think James Spader, but he's on some TV show now. I don't know. I like his work.
Yeah. I really want to get into voice acting. I've made that point several times, like on live streams.
Yeah.
But the fact that how cool you can be to be a voice actor. Think about it. You get all these characters. You can be different characters. You can portray your voices different ways. You can even see this in like Jacksepticeye's videos when he's doing voices for characters. Just the slightest change can like give them a character. Yeah,
and it's funny. I mean, I've never done like voice acting for like a movie or anything. I did it once for a radio thing, but it was in some other market, maybe the other side of the country. I never knew what happened with the recordings. I must have been like 12. It's the only professional acting kind of thing I ever did. It was really, really cool.
Well, is it for a commercial?
Well, no, my little sister, when she was younger, she thought about going into acting once, and then I kind of wanted to try it too. So I did a bunch of different stuff, and never really had a career out of it. But I would go at one time, probably around the same age. I went down to Florida for this like acting competition, with like other kids and stuff, but it didn't pan out that way. But I had other stuff. It was kind of weird having to do phone interviews at that age too, try to get jobs. Pretty fun though.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, you had to do a recording.
Yeah.
So you weren't live.
No. It was just recording. It wasn't live. Not like this.
Okay.
Well, I guess this is
It is like this because it's a recording.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Live podcasts. Usually, podcasts I listen to, they do live, so I'm used to them being live. Cool. Yeah, I think podcasting is really fun though, in general.
Yeah, it's just the feeling of portraying your voice and just being able to record a conversation. It's kind of entertaining. It's kind of meta, like breaking the fourth wall now because we're talking about podcasting.
Yeah, the podcast. It happens all the time. Yeah, but you just gotta like stop thinking about it. It's weird.
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm working on things creatively, I listen to Super Mega. They have a podcast that's going on. It's called the Super Mega Cast. But anyway, back to Marvel. Mm-hmm. One of the most interesting things about Infinity War had to be...
Don't spoil anything, remember.
Oh, yeah. So
don't spoil anything.
Yeah. I gotta choose my words very carefully.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it.
I won't spoil what happens, but they did have an end credit scene.
Well, they always do that. I love when they do that.
Well, see, the thing is, the way it ends, not going to say how, but you kind of feel like, wow, that was a great movie. Like, whoa, nothing can ever beat that. What? Did I just witness this? Is this a real movie? Yeah. Kind of like that feeling of wonder.
And I had that with Deadpool. It was awesome.
Oh, man, Deadpool's favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
But,
Ryan Reynolds is like the only guy that can play him, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like dumbfounded, and you're like sitting in the credits. You don't even think there's an end credit scene. You're just like, I can't wait for part 2, and you're like in your head thinking about theories about characters.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
all the time.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, this is a Marvel movie. There's the end credit scene, right? And then it comes on.
But I forget all the time. All the time, and I don't see him.
Oh no! Have you walked out of a theater?
Yeah, I have to look them up on YouTube later. It sucks. No. But it's cool.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I'm really, speaking of Deadpool, I'm really excited to see that when it comes out. I don't remember when it's supposed to. It's pretty soon though, right?
Yeah.
Like next month or so.
I'm really excited because it's got Cable in it.
Oh yeah.
And I actually have some Cable comics.
Yeah. I've never really looked into them at all. I'm not familiar.
Let's see. Actually, I am gonna plug in my sponsorship right here.
Okay.
I draw comics, so lately I've been really digging into the comics that I have. I've been buying new comics and just reading them for this because I do like reading comics. Mm-hmm. I've always liked that. I've always liked Marvel, DC. I'm a huge Marvel, DC, Star Wars fan.
Batman's one of the only DC characters I like. I'm really kind of a Marvel guy, but
and
I like both.
But I mean, I said plug in because I wanted to say, hey, by the way, check my link in the description.
Yeah,
but
they'll see that.
Anyway, the branch off that, my point is, I read a comic that I really liked, and it's one of the most famous ones called The Killing Joke.
Oh yeah,
the Joker's origin story.
They made a movie, right?
Yeah, they made an anime movie. It was one of those ones that went straight to DVD, but they still sold them very well, and it was very successful. One of the most influential comics, gotta say, it's kind of short. It's not that a huge series. It's just one comic. It's kind of after all the classic Batman, Joker versus Batman, back and forth. It's kind of like the end game of what happens, but it explains. You see why Joker went crazy, and you're like, man, I feel so sorry for this guy. And all of a sudden, you see him in a new light.
Yeah, and I think,
you may think, oh well, that can't keep him from all the things he's done, but you feel like, man, maybe it does.
I think Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker was really good that way because you kind of got, I mean, of course, the dude's crazy, whatever, but you kind of got the idea of why he did stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his quote, "Why so serious?"
Well, yeah. But isn't that? Well, that's not a new thing, right? That's been around.
Yeah, the Joker is a joker.
No, I mean that phrase, "Why so serious?" That's been around for a while.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure people have said it before, but I think one of the funniest things, I heard a rumor that part in it's the Dark Knight. It's a Dark Knight movie, right? And then Dark Knight Rises. One? Yeah. There's Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the order too.
I'm trying to think of a title for the video, so you're helping me out. No, the Dark Knight. Oh gosh,
Oh, you're still recording. I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Dark Knight Rises. No, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. In Dark Knight, that part where I heard a rumor that part where the Joker's walking away from the hospital in a nurse's outfit, and he presses the button, and it doesn't go off.
Yeah.
And he presses
that wasn't scripted, right?
That was unscripted. I think. Yeah. I think it added to it. It was really funny to show like he's like do to the hospital.
Wasn't there also a scene where Michael Caine forgot his lines because it was the first time he'd seen Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in person, and there's some rumor, I guess, that he was affected by it and forgot his lines. It was kind of interesting. I don't know. I like knowing about those kind of behind the scenes moments in movies. That was pretty cool.
Oh, speaking of behind the scenes, apparently there was a Make-A-Wish kid who was brought on set of Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
And he one of the best lines in the movie. So Thor walks into the. I actually haven't seen it, but the Thor walks into the gladiator ring. Loki's up there like, oh gosh, and he's like, "You shall fight this guy" or something like that, and then Hulk burst out in armor, like Roman-looking armor, and he's like, I know that guy from work. Loki, look who it is. And then Loki's like, get me off this ledge. And that line was not in there originally. The kid said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if he said that when he saw Hulk and then realized Hulk was evil? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And they did. And, like they did it because they wanted to let him have a say or something.
And it's a cool moment in the movie.
And then it ended up being totally worth it.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth it. So it wasn't just like, they added in just because. It also added to their movie, which is pretty lucky.
Spur of the moment, accidental stuff like that is, awesome.
It helped make it more authentic.
Yeah, it's more organic. You don't feel like it's as robotic and scripted. It's just cool.
So, I also noticed, I watched the Infinity War in 3D, and it might have just been because it was in 3D, but there was one character that part of him was obviously CG. Yeah. And for a few seconds, it looked very 2D.
Oh yeah.
Not like when it pops out, but like as in, how you look at a sphere, you can see the curve. Yeah. It looked like they had just
drawn it.
Put a PNG of his face that moves.
Oh yeah.
At one point, but then it fixed itself, and I was like, I think I'm just being critical there for that 1 second.
I don't know. They mess up some stuff when they make the movies 3D like that. Yeah. It's bad CGI or something, but I get annoyed with 3D movies like that because a lot of times they don't even use the 3D effects very much, or they do it poorly, so it takes you out of the movie. Yeah. So I don't typically see movies in 3D like that.
Yeah. It did make it feel. It did make it. I probably made it. It kind of probably made it look a little better, like as in like colors. Yeah, but I guess they don't. I don't really care about 3D as in like they reach out and grab you.
It is kind of cool sometimes.
Yeah, they don't They don't make those movies to do that because they know that when it's on DVD, people don't have 3D versions of that anymore.
Yeah, but that's why I don't like the 3D thing anyway. Well, yeah, you can't build the movie around those kind of gimmicks. Yeah,
except for that one, the classic Shrek saves Fiona something. Straight to DVD short film.
I don't even count those. God, I was so young when those came out.
Have you seen that one where it's like it comes with the 3D glasses and the disc?
I think so.
And then and then Farquaad is a ghost.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But I remember they used to do that.
Oh yeah, it was so fun. I look back on it now.
Sorry, Tim. I don't really know.
Great, thanks Siri. Yeah, I don't care.
Guys, that was Siri on our podcast. Say goodbye. Bye, Siri.
Yeah, Siri still sucks. I turned it off. It's fine.
Wow.
Hey, Apple's work on that.
Apple trying to plug in their sponsorships everywhere.
It'd be nice if when you said, hey Siri or whatever, and it actually, sorry guys, I just triggered your phone, and it actually worked, instead of if you say are you serious, and all of a sudden it thinks you're saying, hey Siri.
Yeah, they always seem to get you when you don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh. But the Shrek 3D.
Yeah, back to that.
I remember it was just it was okay. It was not like a movie, obviously, it's a short. But it made me love that character, Felonius or something. That really dumb guy with the green eyes with the hood, and it's like, pick number 3, my lord. When he holds up 4 fingers or 5 fingers, pick number 3.
God, it's been a long time since I've seen these.
You realize that Farquaad's name is an allusion to a cuss word, right?
Oh yeah, Yeah, they used to do stuff like that all the time, and then
It's got Mike Myers in it. It's gonna have things like that.
Yeah, he does silly stuff like that all the time. But remember? Have you ever seen any of the Austin Powers movies he used to do?
All of them.
Yeah, I used to be like obsessed with those. I thought they were hilarious.
And another thing in that Shrek movie is when they're walking up to the castle. It's like, you know, it also kind of looks like Disney World in some ways. So they're kind of poking fun about how big everything is, and he's like, "Wow!" And Donkey's like, "Wow, it's huge," or something like that. And he goes,
"By the way,
and
Eddie Murphy is the only one that can play Donkey."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Shrek was like, "Do you think he's compensating for something?"
Oh my gosh!
I did not get that until
you
fifth
do
grade.
now, yeah.
Until fifth grade,
yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, man!"
Yeah, they do that all the time. They put like adult jokes in movies all the time.
They didn't like a Batman, the movie, which was
I
actually
never saw
pretty good
that.
movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
it had a lot of characters. A lot of characters. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and just like the stop motion,
the animation,
the stop motion inside of an animation kind of style they do it. Part of it's stop motion.
Yeah.
Some of it is they literally made a program where they make stop motion inside of it, where it looks like you know. So that's how they get floating characters.
Was it like custom made for the movie?
Well, yeah, the people made Lego Movie.
No, I mean like the software to do the.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because like, you know, they do some of the things are Legos. They do it off the scale of Legos.
Yeah.
But they obviously they can't take pictures of like things without like strings.
Yeah.
And like they can remove that with editing. But in some cases where they can't get like the perfect angle, they've used like little like and a whole software built to make like software animation inside of the. My point is, they did that with Lego Movie, Ninjago, like a Batman, and it's really cool.
But I mean, it's crazy. Like something as simple as like, I guess it's not really simple, but animation of water, like in those kind of movies is crazy. Because I don't know how they do it. It must just take so much time, you know.
Have you seen those? Have you ever seen a video game that just has like the best water effects?
I don't know because I haven't played in a long time, but I do see it all the time. It's really cool, and when they do like these open world games and stuff, like if you ever play Red Dead Redemption, it's like Grand Theft Auto in the Old West, sorta. But that game was really, really good. Except they're working supposedly on a sequel, and it keeps getting delayed. You know, but if you ever do get to play, it's really fun.
That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
Let's see. For the water effects thing, I was watching No, you were that's part of it. I was just saying like my part is that for me, most recently one of the games, like obviously GTA 5 had really great effects and everything,
Yeah,
but when it comes to water, I was watching Den of Thieves or that new pirate game that came out recently.
Is it Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves, yeah. The water effects are actually really good. All the characters are kind of goofy, and the land is goofy, but the water.
Well, I mean, it's hard to animate faces and skin. And...
Well, they wanted to make them look goofy on purpose, I think, because you notice how they have like exaggerated noses.
Well, no, I haven't seen what the animation style looks like, so I really shouldn't say too much because I can't comment on it. But a lot of times, like doing that is really difficult too. But I mean, all this like the motion capture stuff they do is pretty awesome. You ever watch like behind the scenes making of the video games and stuff? It's pretty cool.
With the little green,
the green suits and then the balls all over you, and you motion track that way. It's awesome. I don't know. People are so smart, man. Technology.
So lately, I've seen like those no, don't smoke, don't vape, don't anti-drug, and that's all good. Like all those those campaigns,
Yeah.
Like I posted at places I go, and that's all good. I'm all for that, promoting like against people doing that, especially underage.
Well, I just think we like with vaping specifically, we don't know like enough about the health effects.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know people that like, get addicted to nicotine without ever smoking a cigarette because they vape it.
Yeah. Things
like that.
Yeah, but my point is, one of the funniest things is when they're like, don't do drugs, kids, and like, don't do this. And they come up with those slogans. Those slogans, I gotta say, irritate the heck out of me sometimes.
And it's stupid because they'll be like, this drug and this drug are the same drug, and it's like, in terms of effect, right?
Yeah.
So you might try one and go, oh, they lied about this one. What else did they lie about? It makes you.
My point is, I definitely agree not to do it, and I'm all for the anti things. But if you're gonna try to get kids to not do it, you need to scare the heck out of them.
Well, no, you need education.
Well, you educate them, and then you show real effects.
Well, yeah, and that could be part of the education. But if you shelter them from it, they'll figure it out on their own, and then they'll get stuck in it. Yeah.
See, what they do is half. They do the educate side, but then they do the really annoying slogans that make kids like, man, I just want to do it just to spite them.
Well, no, mentality. But the education is BS because they'll say, they'll turn around and say that, I'll give you an example. They'll say, oh, I don't know, marijuana is just as bad as cocaine. Don't think so. You know? I mean...
They're different drugs.
I mean, well, and first of all, nobody's ever died from marijuana on its own. You know? Just as a specific example. But, I mean, those drugs are on Schedule 1, which means you can't even study them for medicinal benefits, at least at the federal level, unless you're under like special circumstances. Like universities, I think, will do that. Mm-hmm. But it's just, if you're gonna demonize drugs, do it with the right ones
and with the truth too.
Yeah.
Don't try to exaggerate, because if people want to do that to themselves and subject themselves, okay, just try not to do it when you're young. And when you're older and you want to try to you realize that most drugs are illegal, and you're willing to take that risk, take that risk. See what happens. You get arrested, you get in jail, get in trouble. It'll ruin your life. But hey, we're not telling you can't.
Well, this gets into an interesting point. Sorry, I spoke over you, but this gets into an interesting point where, is it dangerous because it's inherently dangerous, or is, again, in the case of marijuana, I'll give you this example. Is it more dangerous because you can get caught with it and potentially get a felony and ruin your life?
True.
Or is it inherently dangerous because of what it does to you?
Yeah.
You got to take those things into account.
I'm wondering, that's another point. If they were lenient on, like, let's say drugs were legal, do you think there would be more deaths or less deaths?
Actually, I think there would be less, because if they were legal, your focus would then become on the healthcare, of those who do use them.
Yeah.
And in that point, you have the chance to, educate them before they get into those situations.
Like, you can make this choice, but we're warning you, it might not turn out great.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But you can't, if it's.
But then also, it's like, I understand, like, hey, maybe that might work, but I know for a fact that if we did that now, it would not, because it's almost kind of like when. Like, there's in those apocalyptic movies where, like, the law no longer reigns and it's going crazy.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the Purge movie, all crimes are legal for the next 24 hours. So it's like, all drugs are legal. People are going to, like, want more of it, and they're going to want a lot, and they're going to try to get it.
You got to do it gradually. You got to have the mindset of the country change first.
Yeah.
And then...
Because then that's, again, it also makes it dangerous for children who don't even want it. Let's say that there's, like, that majority group who are kids who they know what they're doing. They don't want to do drugs, and they don't plan on doing it. Yeah. And so, like, when now they're exposed to all these people around them who weren't allowed to do drugs now are allowed to do it, it just might not be dangerous because they might be, like, around those people, and they might be, like, dangerous in some situations.
They can get you into situations and
exactly.
Stuff. But I just mean from a legal standpoint.
Well, yeah.
Do you want to ruin somebody's life because they make mistakes? Yeah. I could see with the types of drugs that make you make decisions that negatively impact people, but if it's you want to get high or do shrooms, it's all you're gonna do is just laugh at the TV and be hungry, or like I don't know what shrooms is like.
I got the munchies.
It's not really that bad either. Yeah, I think there's a comedian a couple of years ago said the only thing that happens to him, he's hungry, happy, and sleepy.
Yeah,
I'd rather have that than other drugs. I have a thing for myself where I say no pills, no powders, and no needles.
Yeah. And needles are no fun, but like in the end, all we're trying to say is don't do drugs, but if you want to, do lots of it and sell it to young children.
No, don't say don't.
No. We're just kidding. That's like the entire opposite of what we just said. But our real point, just be careful. Be careful out there. And if for some reason this happens gradually and it ends up being better, or if it doesn't happen, just use common sense. If you really don't want to have to worry about the stress of might increasing the chance of death, then just don't worry about it. And if you're trying drugs and you're already on drugs, or you're listening to this and you're on drugs, I'm kind of scared now. But what you might do, but
I mean,
just,
it's not like
you know,
can find us.
if you're on drugs and it's working for you, and you're not selling it to people, and you're not doing and harming young children who they do not want to have anything to do with you, and you're not affecting other people, that's your own decision. And in a way, I respect that you're not harming other people.
Yeah.
But if you ever have a moment, just think, do you really need to do this? And that's where we'll conclude.
I heard some. Let's see if I can remember it right. I heard something the other day that says, if you have to convince yourself that you can only do it once, just don't.
Yeah.
Or that, it would be safe.
So
not a good idea.
Thank you, Tim, for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, sure.
It was fun. We're going to end it here. Thank you guys for listening. And do drugs. Just kidding.